Okay, just going live from the current location just to discuss a few topics. Our ring, our signet ring, and the direction that we I wouldn't say etching or inscription. Which directions, right side up, which directions, right side down. I'm not supposed to answer that question. As far as I was given the namesake, Eleuthera Irene DuPont, and I don't know what my husband is considering for us, and like I suppose mainly our parents. This is disgraceful. None of us were notified. There's a block. There's an actual physical cement block. It appears to be some sort of cement, not brick and mortar, physical block, not that far from here, that has my name on it. This is a distorted image. This is not my actual physical appearance. So no one actually knows what me or my husband look like. And is that important to mention? Dad had mentioned a minor name change. And so I don't know if he likes what we've come up with. And because of what's happened to us and our family, if that's okay to say that, I don't know that, for example, if Carolyn took the name Catherine, then, I don't even know that Carolyn would want that name, to be very honest. Dad John might actually Dad William John. Like that might actually be his name. And he is the Prince of Wales. He's one of the Princes of Wales. And Grandpa John is also Prince of Wales. So I don't know if they'll like officially change our names. We, as far as like the sentiment and the significance of what this interim stage has been for me and husband and our family, I don't know that I don't know if they like the name Eleuthera. I think in some ways the name might make sense to our brothers. But as far as how our family is unique, but as far as the name meaning, that's where we might run into some problems. And my authentic name is Eleuthera Irene DuPont, and then Dad gave me the name Kitty Spencer. That's my name. So because of what's happened, me Kitty, and then Carolyn has hypothetically been Catherine, but nobody knew that. This is not at all funny, but this is so bad that my femininity is part of my identity, and there's nothing perverted or unchaste about that. Because I think I wonder if we're in agreement. What's unfortunate, like Dad will say that's a trifle. Somebody's a trifle. And for us, there's nothing more or less aside from the vocabulary word, but there are other people that their literacy and comprehension and cognition, literal, they can't appreciate the wall of significance or insignificance, of certainty and uncertainty, and the boundary lines start and stop. So aggression, hostility, contempt, resentment, and the kind of damned, this, no matter what, when there's a commitment to cause harm, how much does that, the question becomes, how much does that influence how an individual chooses to organically proceed as safely, as proactively and progressively as possible, understanding that at no point in time is there immunity from the potential for bereavement associated with knowing that there's this constant, unrelenting attempt to just cause chaos, and the struggle to kind of eliminate the people that may contribute to those kinds of situations. And that's kind of in general for any individual, but for us, this is way beyond what people would maybe hope they never have to even consider would be possible or imagine. So I suppose the question of like ethics and prognosis in life, and what's luxury and what's privilege and what's working class and what's not working class, and how people have to kind of redefine the concept of struggle, and why struggle to a certain degree is like comprehension is necessary. Comprehension, the process of comprehension correlated to emotion regulation, and how emotion regulation is or isn't associated with bereavement, and the concept of why some situations and scenarios or life events are maybe challenging or not challenging, and that there's no that's part of experiencing life, as that's part of being choosing to be a participant of social interaction, not just self-care. So sometimes in life, self-care becomes like the main focus and at all costs. And then there's beyond self-care, people begin to play games where they don't care if people get hurt. So they're still somehow very different concepts. And sometimes there's a mixture of both. It's like an overgeneralization or simplification. So I haven't received any updates today, and I don't get the impression. I don't know. I'm not certain that I have any statement or observation or an opinion or segue for current situation, other than this is a nightmare that is never ending. And there are moments of positive where maybe there's been some progress, but for the most part, this is absolutely horrible. And right now, I'm trying to gauge whether or not I've been poisoned again. And whereas I had communicated that we tried to focus on odds and scenarios, like Joseph Brewster is always going to be a problem, but he's not the only problem with these meal programs. It's who was preparing food yesterday. We want to believe that the food yesterday should have been a better food option. And we don't want to risk, we don't want to gamble. And our understanding is that any process of if there's a need to recover, we shouldn't even notice that we're in the stages of something transitioning, if that's the best way to say it. So this is horrible. This is not necessary. We can afford security. We can afford to put immediate stop to this. We don't need to be in this situation. So there's no need to there's no experimentation with chemical agents, and the enthusiasm and excitement that people display and implore when they learn that they might have the chance to hurt me is disgusting and repulsive and repugnant. And this has been ongoing since I've gotten here, which seems like years ago, but is not, apparently. So there's the other issue of what's been done to the timeline that's available to society, and that's a problem too. So we're not recreational substance misusers, we're just not, and we never will be, and people can't, if we're conservative and if people have a problem with that, that's not our problem. These people can't continue to try to break down the boundaries. This isn't going to change my behavior, right? So my values are the same, my principles are the same, my commitments remain the same, and that's not going to change. So there's nothing to negotiate at all. No, there's no negotiate what? There's nothing to negotiate. Like these people that want to make it like I'm a slave or something. There's nothing, I'm not a slave. There's nothing to negotiate. You don't own me. So every time you try to hurt me, that means the consequence that you're going to have to deal with is going to be that much worse. And I should be within my right to just kill you. That is the truth. Now, this is not what I look like. And that's not homicidal ideation, and that's not a threat. So I need to know where we are officially. There's 2 separate police departments here in this zip code. So I need to know what's going on with the one police department that may end up taking full control of this city and may influence the Commonwealth and then therefore the continent. That's what we're going to say that. So we attempted to, as informally, right, because we don't want to implicate people, the National Guard, but we don't know how infiltrated. So this is pathetic. This is a waste of time. This is too risky. And this is not productive. The only goal that people are trying to accomplish is that they're trying to coerce and dissuade me. And they're not going to be able to do that. Now, we have mentioned this many, many times. They could have sent a contract at this time that's not even an option, right? We've discussed that many times. We're trying to support how dysfunctional the groups of people are that are orchestrating, that are sustaining and maintaining the various examples of covert, overt criminal activity. And this should not have taken this much effort. What if I weren't this age? What if me and my husband weren't who we are? No one would even know how bad their lives really were. I mean, we're not saying that to be counterproductive. We are very thankful and we do not take for granted any of what's to be salvaged. And we don't mean to diminish how significant that is. But we have no one showing up for me. And this, as far as I don't know that I should be here for the next 12 months, to be very honest. So I don't know, I miss my husband. I want to be at home with my husband. I don't want to be here. Yeah, I understand that we're extremely traditional. So my husband might be briefed on what's been accomplished and decide and determine how we want to proceed. And if he's able to be supported by our dads and granddads, and if any of our brothers want to participate, I'm not going to get in the way of that. But I'm not going to sit here like a sitting duck where people think they can shit on me and try to lethally hurt me. And I'm not going to beg and I'm not going to plead. This is not a power play. This is not a power struggle. This is a waste of time. And the parameters of how people are trying to torture me have already been specified and outlined the best possible without a deviation from a Wiggler oriented times 3 and predictability, because that's the kind of reach that people are looking for. They're looking to make it like I have clinical problems that I don't have, that have never existed. So I still can't see myself. That's not realistic. To continue to perceive this way is not realistic. My hair is still not the right color. That's not realistic. I'm not going to waste my time repeating this over and over again. That's not a good use of my time or my focus, but that is the reality. Those are not topics that are up for negotiation, ever. That is mandatory. I am supposed to have my hair the right color, my skin the right color, and I'm supposed to be able to see myself. This is not a negotiation at all. Are you fucking kidding me? So what is this for? This place is fucked up. This is the worst place I've ever been. Wherever we have traveled to, this place is horrible. And I don't know how people have made sense of being here. Our biological family members, for their siblings versus like cousins or however we're discussing that, I don't know how you make sense. I don't know how this has ever really made sense other than maybe you haven't been tortured in the ways that I have been tortured. And I'm happy that that has not been your experience. But this can't stay this way. So I need to be able to see myself. My hair needs to be the right color. And I need to be free from any attack. Nobody has the right to do this to me. And they need to be publicly executed. That is the truth. And they need to be left hanging from the tree or wherever the post is. And if you're going to decapitate them, you need to leave that there for public display. That's how serious this is. That's not an ideation. That's not a threat. That's the reality of the weight of who I am. Me and my husband are. That's the reality of the weight of who me and my husband are. We don't owe anybody anything. We don't owe anyone anything. So if there are any questions, let us know. But I've remained consistent with documentation. This is a waste. This is a waste. We don't need this kind of drama or chaos to be who we are and to sustain who we are and our life and our lifestyle. And that's that. And there has been how many decades where society separate from our family, the general public could have learned to thrive and make sense of who they are, and they've shown they're not capable. That's not our problem. So I would perceive that I'm experiencing some symptoms right now, and that would be directly related to something not being clean. So that means that somebody tried to poison me again. Right, we're not providing lab values for strangers. Absolutely not. No. No. So my, as far as the pasta almost seeming like cardboard dry, and whether or not it's blood sugar or whatever is going on, I don't know what exactly the agent was that was used. Onset, peak, duration, half-life. I don't know what to anticipate. I don't want this. I'm not volunteering. I had no food for dinner. I had no food for dinner. I have not received any money for my work. This is not realistic. You're not going to put me in this situation where you're going to try to have me walking all over the goddamn city to every food pantry only to show up and it's empty or the food has been tampered with. to then try to force me where you're letting a fucking pedophile hand out the food and a murderer. How does that happen? And apparently he's not the only person at that organization that wants to hurt me. So how are the pastors not doing something about that? How have you not called the feds? How have you not called the police? How have you not, like, how do you just let that happen? I don't have anything productive to say. I don't have any substantiated fact-based information.